All right, good morning, everybody. We are at the Track Rock Gap site, looking at piles of rock that are reminiscent of if you watch my old videos about rock, hawk, and such, you've got these piles of rock there too. Many, 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 many of them. So I don't know what it was with the native culture, if they moved rock for agricultural reasons, just like we do today. If you farm in the mountainous areas, you will have moved rock as well and piled it up over it just like this. But this just seems, I don't know, these huge, huge rocks that they've moved, it makes you wonder, what is it? What was it? We think chimneys, stuff like that. I don't know. I'll go over here and show you this. So there's another pile here, large pile. Don't know. This looks like it was a walled, I want to say, this particular one especially, looks like the rocks have fallen kind of in on themselves. That's a back wall over there, here. So this would have been like a little, I don't know, it reminds me of those things, of those little alcoves that the Catholic Church puts their little statues and stuff in. That's what it reminds me of. But, so you've got this here. Of course, in Peru, I think they've had piles of rocks and they, found mummies under them and stuff like that. I'm not moving any of these rocks. That's too much work, even if I was after something. But someone, I don't know, it looks like almost like a word, but that may just be my imagination right there. Just looks like letters, but our mind tries to see patterns, so we can fool ourselves with stuff. Anyway, there's piles upon piles of rock. So you got this one. Right over there, there's another one. Through the woods over there, there's more. It just keeps going. It's a very interesting area. Certainly would be worth someone, I guess, credentialed to come in and check these things out. Maybe there's something under there, maybe there's nothing. But we always tend to think of tombs and burials because of the Egyptian stuff that we've been programmed with through television. But this one's real interesting. It doesn't make logical sense in that it runs, this is a rock wall. From what I can see, this is the terminus down here. And it just goes up the mountain this way instead of being this way, so that if it were agricultural, you would think, okay, we're using this to block erosion. But you can see it runs in line with the slope, and that just doesn't make sense for a wall. There's not a, you would think if it were the foundation for a building, there'd be a parallel wall and you would have had beams going across and that sort of thing. But that's all imagining. You don't know what happened. But there again, another wall. See that? And then patterned stone going up. And then I don't know why I'm doing an automatic exposure or something. Something going off there. I don't like that. I don't like why it did that. Let's see if I put it this way, if I can get it to. Well, let me stop to get it up close. It doesn't show up well on video, but there's a lot of this rock that's just filled with formica up here. Very, very full of formica. Glittering rock. I was going to try to get footage with my GoPro. Apparently, GoPros are very picky about the SD cards you put in them. And it's saying SD card error. They only like certain ones. Anyway, we've got a ravine, probably a spring or dripping water. That wall that I showed starts at the termination of this spring down there. That's, you know, this is kind of a serpentine wall that they built. It wasn't straight. It's almost like they built it into the ravine, a wall leading into it, which I guess is why people say perhaps the walls for irrigation, but why did they not make it straight? Or is that just a thing that we think things need to be so linear and they didn't? I don't know. So we continue to climb up out of here. It's just a ravine that runs down that we followed up out of the area. This all looks natural, natural boulders to me, a boulder field. I can see a couple of 100 feet above me is going to be a sheer cliff face. Very steep terrain. I think it would be very miserably hot to do this in the summer here in Georgia. Also, if you come here at all, strongly recommend wearing some sort of eye protection, because there's so much undergrowth with pokey little pieces everywhere that even wearing glasses, these have gotten under the glasses and tried to poke my eye. So be advised. Should you come here, I strongly recommend eye protection. Okay, I've come up extremely steep terrain to get to this rock shelter. And from my experiences out in New Mexico, Native Americans use things like this for shelter, as a natural shelter from the wind and the rain. And I was not disappointed. You can see the smoky blackness from old fires up on the rock. So yes, someone used to come in here and build them a fire that would keep them warm in this natural rock alcove. The entire top has smoke stains on it from where that was being done many years ago. This was used as a natural shelter. It comes up the ravine. It's really noticeable by the whitish rock that points it out. But here we are. I'm going to go in and take a look around. Well, there's the cliff face. I've given up on trying to get up to it. There's too much blowdown. As you can see, this is extremely steep. Well, it just doesn't. If I hold the camera like this, it's more of a truthful tale of how this land is. But it's taken me 48 minutes to move just a few hundred feet. It's very slow going. I've got a fully loaded pack and a drone. I'm going to make my way over that way and just kind of head down, because this is it's very strenuous, very hard, not easy to get to that cliff face. And there's other things I wanted to see. I probably am not going to get to the mythical fumarole. It's just too steep and too hard. I understand why people don't find it, because you give up, you exhaust yourself just trying to walk along this mountainside. There's no path here anymore where I'm at, so nothing's obvious. It's just like bushwhacking on the side of a mountain. Not fun. I suggest you enjoy the videos from the comfort of your living room and don't come here. Another rock shelter, not nearly as big as the other one, with scorch marks above the rock where somebody had a fire in the past. And I'm just trying to zigzag my way back down the mountain. Just, you're looking over from that peak the whole time you're at this. That's some interesting fungus growing on this tree here. Maybe at the end of its life cycle. You can see that. But I'm headed more or less in that direction. But I think I'm going to ease my way down as I do it, because it's just too hard trying to go in a straight line across. There's so much blowdown, and if it isn't the blowdown, it's trees that bend, and you got a pack on your back, and it forces you down further. It's to work your way up is extremely difficult with a fully loaded pack. So I'm gonna sit and drink. I mean, it almost looks like this is a cutout in this large boulder, and then you can see that, where that somebody built that, like there would have been a beam or another slab of rock. I was looking to see if there was a large slab of rock anywhere. It may have laid across there. All there are these here that they're just smaller and nothing obvious. I'm gonna sit down and drink some water. Rebar driven into the ground by someone. Right here, I'm gonna say this is the upper terrace. The thing I call the serpent is right up there. There's a white, squarish looking stone that kind of stands out. And then you've got that serpentine looking rock wall. Not super serpentine, but somebody, I'm guessing they did put this pin in when making a map or to mark something. But what, I don't know. A piece of interesting quartzite, white. And really, I just wanted to video this tree because I've never seen a tree like it. It looks very old. Broke and regrew is what it looks like. Look at that. Got like a natural bowl in it right there. It's probably just a hole. It's full of leaves, but I just thought it was an interesting tree. More formica rocks on the screen. The landscape is just not easy to navigate because of the underbrush. It's a very tall tree. Very unusually shaped. Had to video it. Basically just bushwhacking now. I'm not in the settlement proper, I don't think. There's no structures, no nothing. Just got a little outcropping of land that pokes out, like a finger. And I'm going off the edge over here. But, oh, how about that? I'm not too scratched up. I just wanted to mention, if you come to a place like this, you've got to practice leave no trace principles, because of the sensitivity of an area like this. I've picked up some people's trash that were near where we camped. Your trash doesn't belong out here. Don't move the rocks to suit your fancy. Don't mess with this stuff. Leave it alone. And if you can't not bring what you brought in out with you, you've got no business coming here. And that's just the way it is. Don't trash the land. So I just want to say goodbye to the Track Rock Gap petroglyphs and historic site. It's very interesting here. I didn't even scratch the surface from what all is shown on the map. I did not get to the fumarole. I understand why people don't find it. It's extremely steep, difficult terrain, but we had a very successful, fun adventure here at Track Rock Gap. If you come, I highly suggest trekking poles, and I highly suggest not carrying a big, heavy, fully loaded pack on your back to explore the ruins area. Makes it far more difficult. Eyewear, very necessary. It's all kind of brambles. I would not come in the summer. The undergrowth would be so thick that you're not going to hardly see anything. You need to come here in the fall after the leaves have fallen, or in the winter, to really be able to see what is still visible. And of course, as I said, don't disturb anything when you come here, and enjoy this place. Leave no trace. Thanks for watching Atypical Hiker channel. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. If you get a chance, you're up in the Dawsonville area of Georgia. We're coming back from Track Rock Gap. We stopped at Ray's Signature Grill, and the food is delicious, excellent. Nice place. Somebody spent quite a bit of money to build this. It's absolutely worth stopping in and grabbing a bite. Got a wrap, chicken wraps. You got a turkey wrap. You can get 3 different types of wraps, I think. They've got fantastic onion rings. They have homemade burgers, homemade Philly, like French dip, Rubens, all kind of stuff. Really good food. And if you're into it, they give away free candy as you walk in the door, barrels full of it. All right, we're gonna eat.